4 years ago, Family Support Services took over foster care in Pinellas and Pasco counties.
And they came when the foster care system across the Bay Area was in disarray. And now, as Jennifer Titus shows you, they're making strides to give kids a safe space to rest and getting a boost from AI to manage the workload.
Frankly, is disgusting and deplorable.
That was how the Pinellas County Sheriff described the conditions kids were living in under Eckerd Connect's care back in 2021. Launching a criminal investigation into how at least 50 kids were being moved around on a nightly basis.
We have children who are sadly abused and neglected by their parents.
Investigators said some kids were even sleeping in the Eckerd Connect's offices.
They went to a place that is as bad or worse than the place we took them from.
The state told Eckerd Connects their contract would not be renewed at the end of 2021. Instead, the footprint for Family Support Services grew from managing child welfare in Duval and Nassau to also include Pasco and Pinellas counties.
We have done a lot of work locally to try to stabilize children in out-of-home care. So when we entered the system, there was a lot of kind of lingering caseloads.
Now, all children are in licensed care. But this isn't just a turnaround. FSS is also seeing fewer kids having to go into their care to begin with.
We've reduced by over 62% the number of children who are in out-of-home care or being served by the system. So there are much fewer children to place and more options to use for them.
How did we get to the point now that we do have enough placement for these kids?
Yeah, it's a massive effort from a lot of different teams. So part of it is on the front end with investigations and how they handle cases. Part of it is preventative resources, so we have a much more robust prevention team that supports families before they get to the point of removal.
It took time and effort to work through the troubles from Eckerd Connects.
Children waiting to be adopted who had families identified and just hadn't gone through the court, or families that were waiting to be reunified and hadn't yet been reunified. A lot of children entering the system because there weren't many preventative resources available up front to avoid sheltering kids.
That's why caseworkers have a new tool for those challenges, using software from Binti. It uses artificial intelligence to help with a variety of tasks, like it says on their website, less paperwork, more social work. The company partnered with the state to help with everything from case management to referrals. Felicia Kirkuru started Binti after her sister adopted 2 children and found it stressful and difficult.
So you can think of our first product, our licensing product, as sort of like TurboTax to be a foster parent. Families can apply online on their phone, get through the process more easily. And then it's also software for the social workers to track the background checks and all the steps they need to do to license families and relicense them each year.
Over 100,000 families nationwide have used it to become either foster or adoptive families. FSS is using Binti's service referral module to make sure families get the assistance they need more efficiently, and they can find it all in one place.
They don't have to spend the time kind of sorting through ambiguous information or figuring out what a family needs and how to get them there. Then they can focus on those other things. This is kind of a one-stop shop, so we can see any pending service referrals for any child or parent currently in an out-of-home case.
While there are things out of their control that might force kids into the system, the caseworkers at FSS are prepared to meet the challenges head on.
A lot of the work that has gone into restoring the community has happened on the preventative end and in response work. It's really, I think, healed the community and shifted us from a crisis framework to now sustaining a much healthier system.
Jennifer Titus, 10 Investigates.
Now, we did check with the Pinellas County Sheriff's Office about their investigation into Eckerd Connects, and they told us there are no updates to this case.